Oh man, we are back with this list. Do I regret starting this list when I initially started it? That back during that stream, the answer is probably yes. When I was probably like 4 hours in, and then 5 hours in, it was also a yes. Then 6 hours in, it was a definitely yes. 7 hours in, I was just like, all right. And then 8 hours in, I was too tired to even have like actual thoughts. But anyways, we are back. We are here. It is Generation 4 time, ranking every single Pokemon ever created. We have SSS tier, double S, S, A plus, A minus, B plus, B minus, C plus, C minus, D plus, D minus, E, F, G, and bottom of the barrel. There are so many Pokemon that I have to probably do over 10 tiers just to feel like I'm accurately separating every single Pokemon. We are ranking over 1,000 of them, okay? So there's going to be a lot of tiers. It would just feel weird to have some Pokemon within same tier as the other. So this is going to be, if you missed the previous stream, this is going to be based on a mix of Smogon singles formats, right? Battle Stadium / Battle Spot, and then VGC. So some Pokemon really have, you know, a lot more impact on certain things like doubles or whatever. So it's like little Clefairy, sneaky, up here above Azumarill. Because, well, Clefairy's kind of valid when it comes to doubles. And Azumarill is just overall a pretty B- Pokemon when it comes to everything else, like Smogon singles. This guy's not really the OU guy, he's more like the UU guy, you know? And I feel like this is usually where I'm gonna put the B- Pokemon. Got better in recent time, you know, with the fairy typing and stuff. But previously, Azumarill was not really the UU guy. But yeah, this is just the list so far. I've learned that a lot of people, oh my god, it reset all the Gigantamax Pokemon and forms that I skipped. I don't care. I've learned a lot of people really hate Mega Mewtwo X. They think that this guy is basura. They think this guy sucks. I mean, whatever. I'm gonna keep him there for now, but as the list updates, maybe he'll fall all the way to just regular S tier. I don't know. But anyways, let's just get it started. Now, I'm going to do things a little faster than I did last time. Just because I've realized, wow, with the format I was doing it, where I was giving moderately detailed explanations, besides the bottom of the barrel Pokemon, I was giving somewhat decent explanations behind absolutely everything. But that was because I wanted the list to feel more informed. It did lead to that stream being 8 hours with only Generation 3 being completed. So I'm gonna have this list maybe from here on out be a little more shoddy. You know, it's not gonna be as accurate as it could be, at least for my own personal standards. I'm gonna take a little less time to explain like absolutely every individual decision. So it is what it is. Mega Mewtwo is bad because of the moveset? I wouldn't even agree. Nah, I think it's the ability. I think it's the ability 100%. Mega Mewtwo X has a solid enough moveset. For Ubers? Got low kick. That's just a 120 base power move on average in Ubers. Zen Headbutt is whatever, but it helps in certain cases. You've got Ice Beam for the things that existed around that time. You know, the Zygarde completes. You've got Stone Edge for Ho-Oh. It was there. I think if it could have had a stronger physical psychic move, like if it had a Psystrike level move, if Psystrike was like Shell Sidearm, where if it detected that you had more physical attack or something, then it turned into a physical move, then maybe. I guess that's literally just Photon Geyser, huh? Yeah, if Mega Mewtwo X had Photon Geyser, then maybe, but it's the ability. I'm not gonna lie. For Mega Mewtwo X and Y, but they gave it such a high base stat total, they didn't really want to give it a crazy ability. But anyways, let's get into ranking little Turtwig here. I am going to... I'm not going to put Turtwig in bottom of the barrel. I'm going to put Turtwig probably like better than Shroomish. Better than Growlithe might be a little crazy, so I'll go better than Shroomish. This thing could set up Stealth Rock. You know, it's hypothetically more useful than some other things that exist. It's got a, you know, decent grass typing, but that's all you can really say about it. Grotle, I don't think Grottle's ever been relevant in anything, so I'm going to put it at bottom of the barrel. Torterra is an interesting one, where it only got, like, a little better, sort of. It got Shell Smash and stuff, so automatically it's decently strong. Would I say that it's... Okay, some people are going to think this thing is way better than it is, and they're going to get really mad. But with Shell Smash, it saved its life, okay? But I can't put it too high. I can't put it too high. Like, I think before Shell Smash, this thing was a PUZU guy, right? Post Shell Smash, this guy's more like... You could see him be used on like a RU hyper offensive team and stuff like that, or like maybe. I feel like overall, would I say Torterra is better than Typhlosion all time? Probably. Medicham, yeah. Miltank, yeah. It's just Shell Smash does it a lot of favors. I'm gonna go like here. I think that's fair enough, you know? Because Scarlet and Violet Torterra is it's a real Pokemon. But outside of that, Bro did not exist, unfortunately, for him. How's Primal Kyogre ahead of, or how is Base Kyogre over Primal? Oh, okay, well, let me explain that too. Primal Kyogre, in the same generations that the two exist, Primal Kyogre is better. Like, yes, Gen 6, Gen 7, Primal Kyogre is way better. I just don't think that Primal Kyogre is as good as the peak of Kyogre, which is like Generation 3, 4, 5. That level of Kyogre, I don't think Primal Kyogre hit that level. This, I guess I should also mention that. Like this, I should mention that at the top here. Instead of just mix of Smogon singles, Battle Spot, VGC, all time. We're also considering their all-time impact. And Kyogre in Gen 3, 4, 5 is just absolute demonic specimen. And then there's also, it also is good in Gen 8. It's good in Gen 9. Primal Kyogre is better than Base Kyogre in Gen 6 and 7. And that's why it is double S, because it's an extremely good Pokemon. But it doesn't beat the peak of Base Kyogre in its history. Chimchar! Chimchar's a weird one. It's just hard to justify using, you know? It's really hard to justify using. I don't want to put it above Cyndaquil. Maybe above Electrike. I think that might be crazy too. I might put it below Ball right down here. Chimchar exists to get up Stealth Rock and die, basically. But there's just other Pokemon that do it better. So that's it. That's about it. Yeah, that's really about it. 61 base speed isn't too crazy. Monferno, on the other hand, it's not going to have the Grotle treatment. Monferno is legitimately pretty good as an NFE Pokemon. It goes beyond NFE as well, I believe, right? It could be usable like ZU, PU, metas and whatnot. Would I put it above Tauros Paldea? I don't know about that. It's around this range. Like, you know, the Haunters, Golbats, Vigoroths, like an NFE Pokemon that is legit, you know, valid in the lower tiers. This thing, I feel like when it comes to trying to place Monferno, I just don't know. I don't know if I put it above Vigoroth. I think I don't do that. Maybe above Furret, above Hitmonchan, but lower than Victreebel. I feel like I'm kind of being rude to Victreebel. Let me move Victreebel up to D+, you know, or higher, all the way to the top of D+. I'm being mean to Victreebel. Below Lapras. Anyways, not Piplup, Infernape. Infernape is better than Charizard all time. I would probably put Chimchar around this area, but on the lower end. I think Chimchar has been better than Sharpedo historically. I'd probably put right here. Maybe better than Dusclops. You gotta think about early, you know, Generation 4 Infernape. Not like that crazy, but you know, it's good. Gen 5, whatever, Gen 6, whatever, yeah, it just doesn't exist anymore, you know? When you skip to Scarlet and Violet, this guy's... The reason why I wanted to rank him, like, lower is because Scarlet and Violet really kind of messed him up. Maybe, like, above Hisuian Arcanine. That's about the highest I can put him. There's some people out there that think Infernape is, like, goated, but, no. Current Infernape is 100% worse than Hisuian Arcanine, but you gotta think back to when it was, you know, when the times were weaker, it could be a DPP Pokemon. Would I put it like above Sharpedo? Piplup. Piplup is fine. I just don't. I mean, it's fine. I feel like it can't be bottom of the barrel. I don't know if it's quite F tier. I don't think it's that high. Maybe like low, maybe like around Slowpoke. I wouldn't be mad at that. Would not be mad at that. Prinplup is definitely better than Piplup. Like, as far as, like, the metas that it was usable in. It's not anything great, and unfortunately in current day, I don't know. I'm gonna put it, like, maybe, like, here. Better than Wartortle might be crazy. Maybe around Marshtomp level. Like, here. The problem with current day Prinplup is that, well, Quaxwell exists. They made another water-type bird. So basically, this guy doesn't do anything anymore. And it's not like it's been the most, like, staple in FE Pokemon ever, but it was a time where it was good. You can set up rocks, you got defog, you got stuff. You're usable. Empoleon. I personally think that Empoleon... This might be a hot take. I think Empoleon has been historically better than Infernape. Now, this might be a hot take. I think that Infernape's placements in, like, Generation 5, 6, even 7 are kind of overblown. I feel like it's a little overrated. I think that when it comes to Generation 4, Empoleon super clears Infernape, in my personal opinion. And then in Generation, like, 9, just the current day, they're pretty relative, but I would say Empoleon's better. Overall, Empoleon does have a little, like, dark spot in its history where it's been, you know, the traditional kind of UU guy forever. Whereas Infernape it had 2 generations where it was considered OU. Whereas, as far as I'm aware, Empoleon only had 1. It's just, I think that was a Mickey Mouse OU, and I think that current gen is a little more important. So I would put Empoleon above him. But as far as, like, Gen 4, I'm going to go even higher. Like, right here. I think there's a little bit of a gap. Gen 4 OU, it's just not even a thing. I just don't think Starly exists, as far as I'm aware. Starly, like, could, if it had an ability, but it just simply doesn't have an ability, you know? It just doesn't have one. Staravia is fine. I think Staravia is, like, middle of the pack NFE Pokemon, because Intimidate is an ability that is worth using. When I'm thinking about where I would place Staravia, would I place Staravia on, like, the higher end of these guys? Or maybe, like, this area? Like, Metatite? Intimidate's nice. It's a Scarfer. You can be defensive as well. Current day, you're not going to see a Staravia anywhere. But You know, he's a guy. He exists. I might go below War Turtle. Or like below Porygon. But Staravia's valid. I don't hate Staravia at all. The Raptor. Another overrated guy, but, you know, he's always kind of banned from UU, so. Like, I feel like it's hard to rank him any high. I can't put him above Gyarados. I can't put him above Salamence either. Can't. You can go like here. Below you. Above you. Below. Above. I can't make up my mind. I don't know. I don't know where Staraptor should go in terms of like above or below Mega Altaria. I'll go above because this guy does get banned from UU very often. Current day, no. This guy doesn't exist. Mega Staraptor is okay. Clearly, it's better than base Staraptor, right? So we can get that out of the way. Do I think it's a B+ Pokemon? I'm not gonna lie. No, I don't really think it is, but I feel weird not putting it there. Like, it feels wrong to not put it. Oh, another overrated. Another overrated guy. I'm not gonna lie. Why not over Politoed and Metagross? Why not Moggs, bro? Why not Moggs that fraud Metagross? Hey, that guy's a RU merchant. Hey, Metagross can enjoy his life in like Gen 5, maybe, kinda. Gen 4, absolutely. Gen 3, yep. And then after that, yeah. I'll go like here. Why is Slowking so low? When was the last time? Think about Slowking outside of Generation 9 and Generation 8. And then you will have your answer. Like, you will get your answer when you think about Slowking for more than 2 generations. Bottom of the barrel for Bidoof. Bottom of the barrel for Bibarel. I don't think so. Bibarel's kind of that guy. High key, like Raticate area. Yeah, unfortunately for Slowking, throughout its history, I mean, he's been. I wouldn't even say UU often. There's a lot of time where he's more like that RU to NU type of Pokemon. But, I mean, we're very, very, very blinded by how good it is in Generation 8 and Generation 9 when it gets heavy-duty boots. You know, Teleport in Gen 8 and then Chilly Reception Gen 9. Obviously good. It's still a UU Pokemon in both of these generations, but, you know, viable in OU. But that's, like, it. And its history is way worse, whereas Staraptor is traditionally... Staraptor current day is like an NU Pokemon, but it's always been that UUBL guy. He's always getting banned from UU. Whereas Slowking in any of those same generations was like NU RU. So it's just not really it's not too much of a contest there. I think Bibarel is one of those Pokemon where a lot of people sleep on it, but bro, simple Swords Dance in those lower tiers is demonic. It simply is. I might put it above Macargo. Like above Wigglytuff. He's a sneaky one. He's still ZU. But I might even put it a bit higher, I'm not gonna lie. Like right. Over Kecleon? Over Kecleon might be begging it. But maybe over Mr. Mime. Or below Mr. Mime. Like a tier below Mr. Mime. Bibarel's a sneaky one. In those lower tiers, we're talking literally like ZU, PU, okay? You gotta respect simple Swords Dance. You really do. Bidoof has no such thing, unfortunately. So, it's going to bottom of the barrel. I just don't think that anybody has ever used that thing in their entire life. Kricketot? Has anybody used Kricketot for anything? I don't think so. Kricketune? I mean, it's got sticky web, you know? And I'm sure it's got to go like here. You're the gatekeeper officially. You are the official gatekeeper, but Kricketot's just dead useless. Shinx, garbage. I don't think that Shinx is very good. Would I put it at bottom of the barrel bad? Maybe not. Like, maybe like here. It's just useless, though. It's not very good. Luxio? I don't know about Luxio. I feel like I've never heard of Luxio doing anything significant in its entire life. Luxray is, like, not good. Not a good Pokemon. But I will put it maybe, I think below Relicanth. Above Relicanth. I just don't think it's very strong. Should I put it in? Okay, this way. That might piss people off. All right, E tier you go. Okay, enjoy E tier. Having him lower, I'm going to put him lower than Bibarel. Maybe above. Maybe above. But he literally sucks. It's a bad Pokemon. It is a bad Pokemon. Budew. Budew is a weird one because it, you know, obviously is going to face competition as a grass type in Little Cup. But the good thing about it, is that it sets up spikes. And, you know, when you think about things that could, you know, rapid spin and get rid of those spikes, you're thinking of things maybe like Kabuto, there's like Drill Burst, Staryu, things like that. And, you know, being grass type as a spike setter means you have a decent matchup against a lot of those Pokemon. I think I would probably put it lower than Numel all time, but it may be above Meowth, or maybe like right next to Meowth. Roselia is not here. I already ranked Roselia. Okay. Roselia, I put E tier, so Roserade. Roserade is kind of, to me, always been like, imagine Infernape's tier, and then you put it like down one. I'd use Roserade above Mega Skarmory and Mega Raichu X. But it's just not ever been good. This is like RU to the max, you know? Would I consider Roserade to be better than Espeon and Entei and Mega Steelix? I feel like it had Generation DPP, Generation 4 is probably like the best time that you could maybe consider using it. T-Spikes are definitely something to be weary of. Cranidos, the guy that has more attack than Arceus. It is definitely good. I'm going to put it like a decent bit mixed in with the other Little Cup guys. I'd probably go like here. Solid, strong, hits hard. You know, it does its job. It can revenge kill thanks to Choice Scarf. And sweep with Choice Scarf as well. He's nice. Rampardos. I don't know if I could say the same kind things about Rampardos, but, you know, it's going to be relative to all the other, like, PU guys. Rampardos probably around, like, E to D-. Maybe a little lower than Sceptile. Maybe around, like, Muck tier. Rampardos hits like a truck, but it really... I go lower than Muck. I go lower than... Maybe around Dodrill. Like, I feel like it hits hard. It's paper-thin defenses. It's really slow, but it hits hard. And that's about all you can say about it positively. E tier feels fine to me. I don't know if Shieldon is something that I would rank very high, because unfortunately, Rock Steel is just kind of balls as a typing. It's not very good. Would I say it's... I would use it before I would use a Shanks. Would I use either? No. But it can set up rocks, and it has 30. You know, 30 in Little Cup is really good. Bastiodon, tier. You know? The problem with Bastiodon is just that G tier might be crazy. It may be top of F. Like, yeah. Top of F. Problem with Bastiodon is that, you know, in previous generations, this thing always has to compete with Probopass. I think that Probopass is soon, right? Probopass is in this generation. That freaking big nose guy. Yeah, he's down there. XQC with nose hair. I think currently it mogs Probopass, but, you know, back then it's just like, it's just worse than that one. Burmy. There's just no way that there's going to be a Burmy stand in the chat, so I don't feel bad about what I'm going to do to this thing. That form is trash, that form is trash, that form is trash. There's no way that there's someone... No way there's a Burmy person out there. You know? There just can't be. There just can't be. Now, there's a little bit of nuance between the other Wormadam forms. I'm going to say that the worst one is just going to be the grass one, 100%. I would say the grass one at the very least. Would I say it's better than Dustox? Maybe not. I don't even know if I'd say it's better than Kricketune. I don't want to put it in bottom of the barrel, but I also think I do. Yeah, I'm going to put it bottom of the barrel. These two forms are better, 100%. I would say the only one that I would use, personally, it would have to be the Sandy one. But trash is also not, like, garbage. It's trash. I'm going to put Sandy a little, maybe, like, lower than Whiscash. Maybe better than Whiscash. Nah, Whiscash has versatility at the end of the day. He went from that Dragon Dance guy that won't sweep a team ever to, you know, just setting up his hazards and being a chill fella. Better than Golem. Maybe, like, better than Noctowl. That's the Sandy form, and the trash form's probably just going to be around it. I think Bug Steel is just better. So I'll let a little bit of a tier gap exist and put it above Walrein. Mothim. I forgot that this thing could also evolve straight into that. Mothim is a weird one. It has the makings of something that could definitely be decent, but then it has 66 speed. It really, I don't understand why. This Pokemon is unfortunately victim of Generation 3 to Generation 4 stat spread syndrome, where randomly they just want everything to be a mixed attacker, and it just has 94 attack for no reason. I don't know. I don't know a single case where I've ever used a physical attacking Mothim, but it's got the attack. I'm gonna put it higher than the Wormadam forms. So if they're all F tier, Tinted Lens at the very least is gonna bring you maybe not Camera Up tier. I don't even think, maybe Butterfree. Maybe like relative to Butterfree. Better than Rapidash. Right there. River Scary. Nope. You tapped the subscribe button and the next Pokemon you found was Fairy. It's crazy. That's what we do over here. That's what we do. Combee. There's not a single soul that would be mad at it being bottom of the barrel. Vespiquen is something that exists. It, you know, is unfortunately a bug and flying type. Now you might think, well, it got heavy duty boots. It doesn't matter. Would I say better than Dustox? Sure. It's just gonna be the little propagation of bugs down in the bottom of G tier. They're gonna have a little fan meetup. Oh, here we go. This is where somebody's gonna inevitably bring up VGC. VGC. Remember that one tournament? VGC. Yep. Pachirisu. Let's just be real. That was an outlier. Let's just be real. But I will at least rank it like here. Have it. have the top of D minus, okay? This is also considering that one VGC performance that it had, okay? That's it. It will have D minus next to EV, okay? I will put respect on it and not put it really, really low. Without that performance, it is that low, okay? It is definitely going like E, F, G. But I will consider that one VGC performance. Congratulations, you move up to EV tier. And if you're confused about why EV is there, because one generation it had extreme Evo boost baton pass stuff. So there you go. That's why EV is even that high either. Most of them are going to have those one-off cases where they were something, except I'm not going to lie, EV is definitely more consistent in that one-off thing. I'll put you right here. Sorry. But did you know that Pachirisu in one time in VGC? Was ready to tell me. But I didn't know. Hold on. People reminding people about Pachirisu's one VGC performance. It's about as common as Cynthia Undella Town meme. Oh no, don't go to the door. He doesn't know about the door, guys. No, we all know. We know. It's kind of tired and played out. No hate to Big Pachirisu. I actually hate the Pachirisu. Yeah, sin hate. I used to hate that thing when I was a little kid because I would go through Eterna Forest and this thing would go for Spark. And it would paralyze me and it would piss me off as a kid. Yeah, that was, yeah. I got taught to hate. I got taught to hate paralysis really, really young. Now, Buizel. Bui, I used to love this thing in the anime. I used to really always want this on my team as a kid. If I didn't pick Piplup. I don't think it's really anything special. I don't know if I would put it... I'd put it above Grimer. I'd actually put it higher. I put it higher because of Gen 4. Gen 4 Little Cup Buizel deserves to go up just an entire tier. I won't lie. So maybe around the little Pastel Pony. DPP Buizel is demonic. But after that, it's just... It's very average and bad. But DPP, that was its peak. Of course, the introduction generation. Floatzel, unfortunately, is probably not really going to make much of a splash. Okay, get it? Because splash? Sorry. I would probably put Floatzel around the rest of the PUZU guys. Would I say it's better than Golduck? I think so. Better than Manectric? Maybe. Probably better than Absol, but I think I stop at Poliwrath. I think Poliwrath should go up a few spots as well. Like, legitimately. I'll raise Poliwrath some. I'm kind of disrespecting Poliwrath. The only thing about Floatzel is that, you know, theoretically, it's not completely unviable with Rain. It could hit hard with Choice Banded, Terra Water, Wave Crash. So maybe, just maybe I'll raise it like here. But I can't see it going much higher. Cherum. That's not Cherum. That's Cherubi. I'm sorry. Larp, 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 Sahur. Cherubi is just, unfortunately, garbage. You know? I just don't... I don't think that it's good. I don't think it's G tier. I do think it's G tier. But like, maybe like here. Like Cubone. Like Cubone level. I mean, it's a sun Pokemon. Chlorophyll, you hit hard with Solar Beam, hit hard with Weather Ball. High base power moves go a long way when it comes to Little Cup because base power just matters so much. Cherum, unfortunately, I just don't think is going to make it out of, you know, the PUZU area. I don't think it's better than Blossom. Maybe like lower than Ampharos. This thing, its best aspect is the fact that it has Healing Wish. And that's its gift to a lower Jin. That's about it. You can try and sweep with it in Sun. It's not really going to work. It's really not. Maybe around Golem level, I think. Would I rank Cherrim Sunshine separately? I just don't think I will. I don't think I'll rank the Shellos forms separately either. Shellos is fine. I'm not a hater. Water immunity. Even though I think, well, in Little Cup, you're not going to use Water Absorb at all. You're going to use it for Sticky Hold and the fact that you can't knock it off. That's going to be its biggest selling point. And I legitimately think that that's a good thing. I'm going to use the East form, and then we'll use the West form for Gastrodon. How about that? I think when it comes to being compared to the other Little Cup Pokemon, I would put it not quite E tier with the big boys in Little Cup, but I'd put it around maybe like Onyx, Snubble, Wailmer area, you know? Sticky Hold is a very, very good. If you're a Little Cup Pokemon and you have Sticky Hold and you're bulky, you're happy. Gastrodon. Gastrodon's weird. He's kind of like Quagsire Jr. Not just for being water ground, that's the immediate connection, but in a sense that you could always use Gastrodon in some sort of higher tier. And it's not going to be the worst thing that you've ever added to a team. Would I go relative to Donphan, maybe? This thing's always in, you know, the lower tiers and stuff. But I think it's fine to put it this high up. Above Linoon, below Mega Glalie. Like, I'm feeling that idea. I'm feeling that idea. You got Storm Drain. You could maybe run some sort of doubles gimmick if you really, really wanted to. You know? I might put it even higher because of that. I'm not going to lie. Because of doubles gimmicks? It's hardly even a gimmick. It's just the fact that Storm Drain is nice. You know? Especially if you're playing in a meta where water types are really dominant. Like, I imagine Gen 8 VGC. If, like, a Kyogre wants to click Water Spout and you have a Gastro, you might be, like, right there. Right there. Right there. Right there. Right there. Right there. Alright, he made it all the way to B-. Congratulations, Gastrodon. Ambipom. Nope. Nope, 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 nope. This guy is F tier. Maybe he'll be the poster boy. I think Ambipom will be the poster boy of F tier. This guy exists to do... Okay, F tier might be too crazy. Poster boy of E. This guy exists to do the same thing every single generation. He just got triple axle, but that didn't boost him up too crazy. He always has the exact same problem in that he just dies too fast before he actually get to do most of the revenge killing. Protective pads is something cool that it could do in this generation to try and negate taking too much chip from like Rocky Helmet and stuff. But it's just no. Even putting it higher than Altaria feels a little sus. I'm not gonna lie. Ambipom, no. Drifloon. Ooh, this one is probably gonna be up with the big boys. This one's probably gonna be up there with the rest of the guys because this thing had a very, very long streak of just getting nuked from Little Cup. So I'm gonna find whoever's gotten banned like twice from LC. Let me see. You've been banned like twice. Like, I'm gonna put it on the higher end. Better all time than Ghastly. I'm not sure. I think it might be. No, I think DPP Ghastly kind of has it beat, and Ghastly also has Gen 3 to fall back on. I'll put it over Yanma. Like right here. Drifloon is just notoriously almost always banned. It has cancerous strategies every time. The cool thing about it is just like it hits like an absolute... Okay, you know what? I'm thinking more... Gen 5 Drifloon is crazy too. It's not banned there, but... Bro, Unburdened acrobatics with flying gem? Hey. Hey, this thing... Having it right next to Ghastly is fine, I think. Having it right next to Ghastly is fine. Now, I just gassed up Drifloon, but unfortunately, we're going to go ahead and deflate with Drifblim. This thing does not have even an ounce of the same amount of aura. It's just... Yeah. It exists. You could technically use it to Tailwind. I think I'm going to put it around Cradily range. Maybe higher than like a Alolan Golem. It has Tailwind, you know, has Unburden. If you use it with a terrain setter, you know, you could use Psychic Seed or whatever sort of seed that you have, and you can get the boosts, and you could maybe set Tailwind really quickly. That's about all I could see for it being, you know, impactful in doubles. Not like the greatest thing ever. And then outside of that, traditionally, it's just been an NU, ZU, BU guy. Not really anything special. So D- tier feels fit for him. Baneri. I just don't think that Baneri has ever been impactful. There's only been one time that I think Baneri's been impactful. When I'm considering Baneri. The only time that I remember Baneri being something that maybe you could look at and think about, it had to be when Z-Splash was a thing. But I just don't think there's a level of consistency. I would not put it above Trico. I'd maybe put it around Teddiursa range. I don't know if I'd put it above Larvitar. Maybe around like Pineco. Because the thing is, when you're a normal type in Little Cup, you gotta account for all the other good normal types that would exist around that time. So Doduo's right there. Bunnelby is a big one. Zigzagoon. You know? So, unfortunately, Baneri, F tier. I might even go just a tad bit lower. Like, lower than Cacnea. Maybe, like, one spot higher than Cacnea. Yeah. I don't hate it. I don't hate it. Big Boys E. Yep. Yep. Lopunny. Base Lopunny is not a real Pokemon. I'm just going to say it. Base Lopunny is not real. I don't think Base Lopunny has had a single generation where it's been real. But it's not bottom of the barrel. It's just a ZU. She's just a ZU gal. I think better than... I don't even think better than Masquerain. I don't think better than you. Not better than Ursaring. Not better than Blossom. Maybe around Wormadam trash level. Or even like lower than Ampharos. I think that's fair. I'll go right here. Okay, I'm going lower and lower and lower and lower and lower. There we go. Base Lopunny's not real. I don't know if there's ever been a generation where Base Lopunny has not been like bottom ZU, just untiered. Mega Lopunny is really, really good. Really, really strong. Probably going to join, you know, the B+ guys, I would say. Like right here. Top of B+, maybe A-. Thing with Mega Lopunny is just that it doesn't really have the juice in like enough to make it A or A+. But I would maybe go, I would say A- is almost guaranteed a lock. Like right here. Like right here. This guy immediately sees Lopunny and he's spamming a mommy in the chat. All right. I'm going to drop Lopunny a tier just for that. Okay. I'm kidding. We'll keep it right there. But Pelipper, I think it's valid. Miss Magius. This thing is... This is like the GOAT of Inu, right? I think this thing has just almost always been Inu. There might have been... Okay. There might have been a time where it was higher, you know, in the older generations. Currently, I think it's balls, but you know, you gotta respect being in you for a while. I would definitely say it's better than Bibarel. I would definitely say it's better than Rapidash. Would I say it's better than Camerupt all time? Probably. Arbok all time, probably. Here, Granbull, yeah. Alolan Persian, yeah. Absol, yeah. Rampardos, yeah. I would say it stops at like Dodrio level. Also, Absol's got to drop a few spots, I'm not going to lie. Base Absol, I'm going to drop a few spots. I don't know, I just wanted to hate on it. Honchkrow, the head honcho himself. Honchkrow is a boss, but unfortunately Honchkrow's not very good. You know, I would say it's probably around, it's like mid. It's definitely just peak mid. I would say worse than, like better than Steelix or worse than Steelix. One of these two. Bro exists, he gets the job done. I'll have it in the same tier as Murkrow, but just on the higher end. It doesn't have any sort of doubles gimmick like Murkrow could do, but I think this is valid. Maybe like under Arcanine. Above Arcanine. Above Steelix. One above Steelix. One above Steelix. Mega Chimecho's probably better than it. Glameow. Glameow is just like another fake out variant, right? Like another Meowth variant. But being a normal type, like I mentioned before, being a normal type, it's tough. In Little Cup. So I'm going to find Baneri. And I'm just going to put it... It's just worse Meowth, you know? It's literally just worse Meowth. It has to be. Maybe like bottom of F tier. Purugly, I think, is a little more respectable. I would say. It is, despite being fat, it is insanely fast. I never understood that as a kid. It has 112 base speed. This thing is super quick. Would I put it around Furret level? I don't think I could say that. I would probably put it around like Metang. Like D-. Worse than Ambipom. Like right here. Lower than Regice. Regice I should put higher, by the way. I'm disrespecting Regice. I like Regice in Generation 3 OU. It's fun to use. It's not like the greatest Pokemon ever in that tier, but it's fun to use. I'm gonna move Regice up some. Purugly. I'll put Purugly around Combuskin. Like this area. Great speeds here. Demon and PU. He does his job. It's ugly. And when you mess up with it, it's gonna get ugly. Now, I think when it comes to Chingling, this thing is just not. It's not a mainstay in any point in time. Would I say better than Shuppet? Maybe. It has a lot of utility. You could technically do things with it. But I don't care about it. Chimecho, we already did. So it's time for Stunky. Stunky is good. I respect Stunky. Stunky's definitely here with all the consistent Little Cup Pokemon. I would say Stunky is probably better than Surskit. Like right here in F tier. Stunky's good. Good at Little Cup Pokemon. Very, very strong. It's an all-timer. I have no problems with Stunky at all. It honestly could almost make it to the E tier, but I think top of F is fine. Skuntank. All I know is that this thing would get banned from the GTS system in Generation 5. But that's about it. Somewhere in E tier, maybe. I would say better than Muck. Maybe like D-. Like Primeape. This thing is basically just PU, NU, ZU guy. Would I say better than Primeape or worse? I think worse. Maybe worse than Trapinch. Maybe worse than Regirock as well. The Regis are just always going to cheat having a couple higher spots because of Generation 3. Having access to Explosion is always going to be a good thing. I think Skuntank being here is fine. Pursuit Trapping is a thing. Has knockoff. Bronzor. I'm not a Bronzor hater. I saw a tweet about it earlier. Someone made Bronzong pancakes. That was pretty cool. Or by earlier, I mean probably like a week and a half ago. I think Bronzor is a cool thing for being a steel type with Levitate automatically. It gives it usability. I'd probably put it around this like F tier range because it can still expand out of Little Cup. I don't know if it's ever been the most consistent Little Cup Pokemon, but I know that it's usable in the lower lower tiers for sure. I'd probably go very tip top of F, but maybe bottom of E. Maybe bottom of E. Maybe it expands the E tier just a little bit. Because you could use this in the lower tiers, like 100%. Honestly, let's go around like Lairon. How about that? Does this make this the highest ranked Little Cup? Okay, no. Trapinch, Diglett, Stillmog. Tangela is not Little Cup, I don't think, but it's whatever. Bronzong. Skuntank had Explosion in Gen 4. True. Yep. Yep. Yep, it did. I don't know what it did with it, but, you know, it clicked the button, and then it never got to click it in any other generation. Bronzong! Let's sing a swan song for it. It's gonna go wherever Steelix is. Feel like a little better. You know, I don't hate this. I could maybe see, because of DPP, that you just bump it up a spot. Would I say like Roserade? I would use it above Mega Skarmory any day. Mega Skarmory in this C+ tier is basically going to be like, would I use it over Mega Skarmory? Yes. If the answer is yes, then there we go. Bonsly. I think Bonsly had a use at some point in time, right? For having sturdy. It had to been, there had to have been some point in time where you could use it and it's not going to perform like a bottom of the barrel Pokemon. I'd say maybe worse than Lotad. You have Stardy, you got Stealth Rock. You can do that. You could also maybe run Rocket. The problem is that it has 10 speed. It is one of the slowest Pokemon ever. And it's really, really hard to, you know, function with speed tier like that. Mime Jr. We got Mr. Mime earlier. I feel like Mime Jr. might have had only one generation ever where you might have been able to use it, and I feel like that has to be like Gen 6. But then the other thing is maybe Gen 4 it had something going for it. I mean, Gen 6 is where it got the fairy typing, you know? Would I put it around Smoochum level? Sure. Maybe worse than Krabby. F tier. I'll drop it even lower. I'm not gonna lie. I'll drop it even lower. Nah. Keep it right there. I'll keep it right there. Happiny. I don't think that Happiny is anything good. I'm not gonna lie. The only thing I know about Happiny is that it had some analysis at some point, I'm pretty sure, on Smogon, and it was funny. It was just like memeing on it, but I'm gonna put it bottom of the barrel. That's hot. This thing's like a PU god. That's all I know about it. That's all I know. It's like a ZU-PU god. It just exists and it does annoying stuff. Because it has Boom Burst. That's a big deal. You know? And sometimes it just hacks with Shatter. I'm going to put it... Would I say better than Ambipom all time? No. Altaria, no. Sceptile, no. Gorbis, no. Poliwrath, no. Roselia, no. Maybe better than Muck. Lower than Floatzel. I'll raise Floatzel a couple spots, actually. Chatot. Let's go higher than Kabuskin. I think this thing could get away with a lot of stuff. Thanks to just having Boom Burst. Spiritomb. Yeah, I mean, Spiritom's okay. Spiritomb is okay. It's very ZU coded, for sure. Very PU ZU. I think it had better times in the, older generations before fairy types got introduced. But even then, it's not like this thing was God in generations 4 and 5. It was not even, spectacular. I think it's enough to put it above some of these goobers. I would go maybe D+, around this range. Not quite Lantern, I don't think. But it had a better time back then. I think here. Top of D+. Top of D+. He can represent D+. Gible! My favorite Pokemon ever. Gible is my GOAT. My favorite Pokemon. It's just... I love it. I love Gible. The only problem with Gible is that it's just kind of hard. It's kind of hard to justify it. It has a generation, I'm pretty sure, where it's nice. It's hard putting it anywhere higher than F tier, even though he's my GOAT. I'd love to put him here, E tier. It's my favorite Pokemon ever. But let's go around Anorith level, I'm gonna be realistic. Gabite. Good Pokemon. I'm gonna just find the NFE guys, and he's gonna be near them. I'd probably go around Machoke level. Maybe a little worse. Right here. E tier looks good for Gabite. Garchomp. Sir Chompingtons is gonna find himself in a sneaky, very, very sneaky A+ for sure. It might even be S. Would I consider Garchomp S? If Garchomp's gonna touch S, it'll be at the literal very bottom of it. Maybe a top representative of A+. The thing is, when it comes to Garchomp, once you get past Generation 5, I feel like it doesn't ever do anything. In terms of Smogon, it doesn't do anything impressive in singles. But it's more just that OU guy, By not doing things impressive, I mean Uber's level impressive. I feel like A+ is fine. Above Latios might be a little nuts. Because this is also considering all the time that Latios had Soul Dew. But it's just Latios never had that chance to prove itself in a VGC format. Unless we're counting Gen 3 doubles OU and stuff like that. But I don't know if those count as official tiers for Smogon stuff. I think A+ is fine. Champion's bias might make me want to put it a little higher. You know what? Tentative S tier. If Zapdos is here, yeah. You know what? If Zapdos is an S, then let's put it here. Also, I'm gonna drop Zapdos. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna drop Zapdos to A+. We'll swap them out. We're gonna swap them. Mega Garchomp never really had the heights of base Garchomp. It's not a bad Pokemon. It's just the absolute peak definition of opportunity cost. You know? I think it's overhated, but it is the definition of opportunity cost. You're going to use a Mega Stone to get a worse Pokemon. I do personally probably think it's better than Gyarados though. There are some matchups where you could just bring Mono loose to Mega Garchomp because you don't prepare for it. Better than Suicune all time. I think these two I'm just gonna have higher because of doubles impact. But yeah. Can't rank this other Garchomp because it's not in the game yet. Munchlax, though, very good. I'm a fan of Munchlax. Munchlax gets the job done. I think I could maybe sneak it near these other LC guys, you know? They're like Doduo, Onix type level. Munchlax is very nice, consistent. I mean, current generation, no. But back in the day, Munchlax was he was a goblin. He was a little goblin. A goober. Riolu. Riolu's cool. I'm always a fan of Riolu. I'm always a fan. I think that the thing with Riolu is that it's always that Pokemon that could theoretically go crazy, right? Because you have Copycat Prankster, and you could go crazy with that if you have, you know, high jump kick and you're copycatting it and all sorts of stuff. You could sweep teams. It's not the most practical thing ever, and I don't think it sees play in current gen. But I would probably put it above Mime Jr. I'd probably put it above Smoochum in like Wooper, and Aeron, and Pooper. Like Cacnea level. They're like lower than Pikachu, like right there. Riolu had, you know, an amazing time period at some point where it could be something that if you're just not prepared for it, you will just auto lose to it. So it's gonna go F tier with all the other little cup guys. Just gonna join them. Lucario is definitely one of the most overrated Pokemon ever. I don't know what Pokemon I think it has like the syndrome of. It's got like Roserade syndrome, I think. I'll put it top of C+. I think it might be the guardian of C+. This thing exists to have that one gimmick in doubles, beat up gimmick. Wow, crazy. Honestly, you know what? I would use Lucario over these guys right there. But then outside of that, I don't know. I don't care about it. I don't care about base Lucario too much. I really, really don't. I'd probably put it above Flygon. Yeah. Yeah, above Flygon is fine. There should be Mega Lucario next. Mega Lucario should go pretty high up. I think it's just got to be an S tier Pokemon by default. Would I say better than Wobbuffet? Probably. I don't think I can put it double S. Maybe I could. Mega Lucario has aura. It definitely does. Dangerous, dangerous Pokemon. You know what? We'll swap them. Mega Luke might just be double S. Mega Luke is a crazy Pokemon. I think if it's gonna be double S, it's like the absolute bottom of it. I think I can finally swap these two. Mega Lucario is definitely not better than Mega Kangaskhan? Do you think so? Do you think so? I mean, if it came down to picking one of Mega Lucario or Mega Kangaskhan, I would personally go Lucario. I mean, I don't know. I guess the only thing with it is that it doesn't really have the doubles impact. You know what? We'll do this. We'll put them both here. Mega Lucario's, I guess Mega Lucario's problem is that it doesn't have the doubles impact that Kangaskhan. I think it's good. I think it would be good in doubles. But, you know, Kangaskhan is obviously, like, Mega Kangaskhan's kind of like one of the doubles goats back then. I just think it's better in Ubers. Traditionally, throughout 6 and 7, I would probably pick Lucario before I'd pick Kangaskhan. I don't think Kangaskhan's totally unviable in Ubers, but I would definitely pick Lucario first, I think. I wouldn't pick either, personally. But if I had to pick one Pokemon, I would pick Lucario first. I think this is fair enough. Ooh, Hippopotas. Hippopotas. I like Hippopotas. I don't hate it. I like it. It's a sand setter that's useful for lower tiers. Good in Little Cup. It's okay in Little Cup. It's fine in Little Cup, I should say. I think he can join the rest of his, you know, brethren. There was some Little Cup guy that I put a little high. It was Bronzor, right? Yeah. I think he's like Bronzor, but a couple spots down. So I'll put him where I initially put Bronzor. Right around here. Maybe a little higher. Maybe a little higher. Maybe around Bronzor, like Lairon level. Higher than that. Yeah, right there. Because, again, in lower tiers, when you don't have anything else that has Sandstream, he's there. And he'll set it up for you. And he'll get the job done. Hippowdon! Thickums. The freaking fat hippo. Think wherever Donphin is, and you're probably going to raise it like a spot or two. I think just a spot. It might be like B tier or B minus. Would I say better than Gastrodon? Probably not, but I would say better than Kingdra. It's traditionally been tiered higher. I think it's probably like here. Next to its Weather Brethren. That's hard. You have to think about Gen 4 and 5, especially. Good in Gen 6. Gen 7 is where it kind of started to fall off somewhat, but still good. Still good in Gen 8. Usable in Gen 9. Gen 9 is definitely the worst it's ever been. I could maybe see above why not. How about that? B tier. B tier. Scorpy. There's just no way that anyone has ever used this in the history of Pokemon. I almost forgot this thing existed, I'm not gonna lie. I just got reminded of its existence. The thing is, with it seems like a Pokemon that maybe you could cheese with it, and that's about it. So I'll put it above Ballrite. How about that? Or you know what? Above Grimer. Or maybe below it. Right there. You could maybe cheese with it. You could maybe cheese with it. If there was a time where you could use like Acupressure stuff, because of course Drapion has that move. I don't think Drapion uses Acupressure. Drapion is more like a RU god. He's definitely that RU in you Pokemon for life. That's his home. I will probably put it around where all of those Pokemon are. But I say it's better than Honchkrow. Nah. I'm more afraid of Drapion than I am of Honchkrow, so I'm going to put it like C. I think C is okay. Around Alolan Muck level. Nantoo crazy. Nantoo shabby. He's fine. Croagunk. Croagunk is good. Croagunk is definitely good. I think that Croagunk could be around the other Little Cup guys that are higher up. Maybe around not Clamperl level. My brain thinks this like range right here. This Ponyta, Stunky, Surskit, Chinchou, Doduo range. Croagunk is nice. This thing, it's very versatile. You know, there's some generations you're going to have to fight a physical set. There's some generations you're going to fight a bulky set. Sometimes you're going to fight a nasty plot set. Sometimes you might just fight a mixed set. You know, this thing is it's very adaptable. It changes with the times. It has a good typing. I'm a big fan of poison fighting myself, especially in Little Cup. Being resistant to knockoff is always a bonus. And then you also have dry skin. Like, I'm hyping it up and I just put it, you know, around where all the other guys are. But hey, it is what it is. Toxicroak. I think Toxicroak is not spectacular. Toxicroak had a better time, you know, back then. But I think it had one peak, and it was with, like, Black and White Rain. Having Perma Rain. Obviously permanent in DPP 2, but there was nothing with, like, Drizzle. I feel like I would use Toxicroak before I would use a lot of these Pokemon. Maybe like around Almastar level, like better than Almastar, better than Hariyama. Better than Tauros. I'd go like here. Very nice, you know, average Pokemon. Average Pokemon that had a little bit of somewhat of a peak. Carnivine, there's no way. I simply refuse. I refuse to believe that I can put Carnivine. I don't think I can, man. I don't think I can. You know what? I feel bad. You're the new gatekeeper of the G tier. Welcome, Carnivine. You can Source Dance and Power Whip. That's high base power stuff. Congratulations. Finneon. This is a Pokemon I've probably... Bro, I feel like I don't hear much about this thing. It's a very sneaky one. It's a very sneaky one. It has... It's one of those things where it has something that it could do, right? Did it have Defog at a point? It's something that exists, and it's not like the worst thing I've ever seen. Gen 4 has some of the most forgettable Pokemon. Easy on one of my favorite gens. Easy on it. Easy on it. But hey, you're not wrong. I'll probably put it around Turtwig level. Maybe higher. Maybe a little higher. Maybe a little higher than Turtwig. Maybe a little higher than Turtwig. Like Snubble. Nosepass. Mime Jr. I'm gonna put it above Meme Jr. here. Being something that has access to Defog and you beat a lot of the hazard setters, besides Pharaoh Seed, for example, you're not gonna touch Pharaoh Seed. I think that's enough to consider it, you know, a decent LC Pokemon. A decent contribution to the LC society. Now, Lumineon doesn't contribute much to of any society, but I'm gonna say it's just another thing that had Defog at a point, you know? You could technically run it as a little PU demon. So we're going to find the other PU demons, and we're just going to plop it right around them at like Wartortle tier, you know? He's chill. Lumineon's chill. Mantike. Or Mantique, whatever. I think it is nice. I would put it wherever Finneon is. A good bit higher. Maybe like Lickitung adjacent. I feel like Pineco, Teddiursa. Yeah, like right here. You can do multiple things with it. Like, you could use it as a rain sweeper if you'd like. It can set the rain for itself. It's very self-sufficient. It has good bulk. He's a chill guy. He's a chill guy. It's just, I don't know if it's like anything super crazy. Snover. Snover is good. Snover is a good little cut Pokemon, 100%. Very good little cut Pokemon. I think Snover is gonna be up here with the other guys. Like this range. Maybe worse than Onix. Better than Houndour. Air on Snubble. Like right there. He's chill. Snover is good. No qualms about Snover. Ojama. We got Abomasnow. I think that Abomasnow's a weird case where its peak is 100%. It has to be Generation 5, right? Abomasnow's peak definitely has to be Gen 5. Because of, like, Hailstall archetypes. I feel like by default, I kind of have to put Abomasnow probably a little higher than a lot of these guys. Now, this might be crazy if you are completely and utterly unfamiliar with Hailstall. Abomasnow being this high might look absurd. But I'm thinking higher. Can we get much higher? So high. Better than Feraligatr tier. I think that's a decent spot. Now, it's never had, you know, anything quite like that ever again. But, I mean, it contributed to the Weather War. That is a pretty significant contribution. That team is very good. I might have that team. If I go to Showdown, I might have that team. It's like Abomasnow, Blissey, Reuniclus. Something. It has some other Pokemon. I forget what the rest are. But the point of it is that it disrupts the other weathers, and you have a bunch of fat Pokemon. And since the opposing team can't benefit from their weathers, it's really nice, and it's hard to break through. Mega Abomasnow has never had anything as impressive as Gen 5 Abomasnow. So unfortunately, it's going to be ranked like Mega Abomasnow. I think it's probably around, like, top of C. You know, it's definitely more of an NU merchant. Usable in upper tiers as well, like RU and maybe like a bit of UU and stuff like that. I don't think I could put it next to Mega Absol, but I think it can lead the C tier. You know? Abomasnow you find meh? Yeah, fair enough. Weavile is fine. Weavile's fine. I'm gonna put Weavile probably around... My heart and soul wants to say B+. But I don't know if I agree with that idea. I don't even think Weavile's better than Hippo all time. Or Gyarados all time. Maybe Moltres. I think Weavile can be can very much be a good B tier Pokemon. You do have to remember, when you're considering Weavile, this thing did not always have that 65 base power knockoff that has a 50% boost with an item. You know, it didn't always have that move, okay? So you really, really, really have to consider that. Its peaks, to me, I think its peak is probably Gen 6. I have a lot of respect for Gen 6 Weavile. That thing... You know what? It's next to Gyarados, bro. You know, like Gyarados has aura. I'll put it above. Why not? Sure. I might tilt too many people. But like, Gen 6 Weavile is goated. I have a lot of teams with Weavile. I mean, you can look. I have a lot of teams with it in Gen 6. I like this team a lot. It's one of my favorite teams. This team is also really good. This team is really good. You know, this team is cool. I'm a fan of Weavile in Generation 6. Now, ignore these teams. These are like my first teams ever made, and I found them and I copy-pasted them. I'm a fan of Weavile. I like Weavile. I think B is fine. Again, you have to remember, it was not always what it is. And, I mean, current day, it's still good. It's just Champions. Champions is not its best showing, and I really don't think too highly about its doubles viability, even though it's something that does have fake out, good speed tier. It's weird. Magnezone is a very interesting one. Magnezone is probably going to enter the B+ territory. This thing is toxic, I'm not gonna lie. I'd probably put it around like Mega Sableye area. Maybe a little higher, like Mega Gyarados. Magnezone's definitely one of the all-time greats. Now, I say that as I don't put it in A-, but this thing is really good in just about any team. You know what? I'm going to raise it even more. I'm going to put it above Snorlax. Magnezone is just a timeless cancer Pokemon. Magnet Pool, I mean, trapping abilities in general are just notoriously very broken. This one just slips through the cracks because it's not just a universal. It's not one of those abilities where one ability gets to not be trapped, or one typing gets to not be trapped. You know, Arena Trap has flying typing, Shadow Tag has ghost typing. I guess Arena Trap also has ghost, but yeah. The thing with Magnet Pull is that it traps one type. And that allows Magnezone to be quite disruptive in a lot of generations. Even some Ubers in some of the older generations. Magnezone is definitely one of the most underrated Pokemon, I would say. I think you ask any person that's played competitive singles, especially Smogon formats, and they will tell you that this thing probably should be higher on this list, okay? Someone that's played a lot of like older Smogon and stuff like that, or played Smogon for a while, they'd probably tell you Magnezone should be higher on the list. I'm not going to put it higher, but I could understand. Because that thing is definitely one of the most frustrating Pokemon that is allowed. Lickitung. Not Lickitung. Licky, sorry. Licky, the freaky Pokemon. I'm going to put Licky in, like, one of these tiers. He's fat. He's where Lickitung's going to be, but, like, a tier above, you know? I'll put him lower than Absol, so I don't anger someone. If I put him above Absol, some guy that thinks Absol is actually really good, it's not. Well, they might get upset. But he's a tank. He does the same thing as, Lickitung. But then sometimes it has Aura, and then it clicks Swords Dance, and it can be an offensive Pokemon, you know? Sometimes it just randomly can do that, okay? So, that is something. Rhyperior. Huh. Rhyperior, I feel like I'm just going to find wherever Hippo is, and I'm going to put it a tier below. So Hippo's B tier. I think Rhyperior, you could probably have an argument for, like, right here. Maybe worse than Cloyster. I think Cloyster should be a couple spots up. I'm not going to lie. Like, the more I look at it, the more I look at the list, I think Cloyster should be a couple spots up. I'll put Rhyperior right here, in between these two Mega Pokemon. Maybe below. Yeah. Rhyperior is fine. It's just consistently RU, UU for most of its lifespan. It might be one of the most consistent Pokemon in terms of existing in that range. It's never the worst thing ever to have on your team. It had a time during Generation, I think, 8 as well, where some people were using it in OU. Because was Generation 8 where it first got Heat Crash? I think it is, right? Well, some people were genuinely using it in Generation 8 OU. Because you could... I think the set was what? Earthquake, Stone Edge, Rocks, and then you had like options for either Toxic, Swords Dance, or Heat Crash. You know, if you're fighting in a tier that has like Zarude in it, for example, you're probably gonna go Mega Horn. It's just more consistent in that. He's good. He's good. Tangrowth. Tangrowth is good. Tangrowth is a sneaky Pokemon, I'm not gonna lie. Tangrowth is definitely something that you look at and you might not think too much about it when trying to think about a list of all-time Pokemon. I think Tangrowth finds itself in B tier. The thing is, It will always have... Might be higher. You know what? Would I put it higher than Hippo? I don't think so. I'll put it above Why Not. I'll put it above Why Not. You know what? Also, I feel bad for Gyarados. No, I don't. I'm not having a change of heart. I don't feel bad for Gyarados. Nope. This thing, fat on the physical side. There's obviously times you can run either Rocky Helmet to go full on Fizz Dev. You could run Assault Vest that you can have mixed defenses. There's a time in Generation 8 where people were using this to try and fend off against the things like Groudon, Necrozma, Duskmane. Not even really fend them off, but just like annoy them. You know, Zygarde as well. Just don't use it against Kyogre. You just die to an Ice Beam, but it's okay. Electivire. Not happy to see this thing. It sucks. I'm just going to find Manectric probably. And just plop it next to Manectric. Wherever the heck Manectric is. Oh my god, there's so many Pokemon on this list. Yeah, I would put it a relative to Manectric. I just don't think that this thing is good. It's a ZU guy. ZUPU. There was a time where it was better 100%. Please do not be confused about Generation 4. But it was OU in Generation 4. That was the fakest OU ever. The tiering system ended before that thing could plummet to the depths. And it's just never been updated, so it is what it is. Magmortar. Not good. Better, but not good. You know? Whereas Electivire has always been that ZUPU guy, Magmortar has always been that NU guy. I'm going to put Magmortar probably about better than Typhlosion. Like Miltank range. Is this theme from Final Fantasy 15? Let me check. No. This seems to be Gran Turismo 5. Nope, I'm wrong. Not quite. Not yet. This is Sonic World Adventure, Spagonia Night. Gran Turismo is next. Togekiss. I don't like Togekiss. I've never been the type to like Togekiss. I'll be honest. It's annoying. It just axes. But I can't hate too much on it. It does have doubles influence, doubles impact. I think I could put it... I mean, something that has Follow Me is just automatically going to be useful. Maybe I could put it above... or below Milo, like around Milotic, I think. The last one was... Nope. The one that was playing before that was Super Swing Golf. The one playing currently is Gran Turismo 5. And then it was Sonic World Adventures. There was Final Fantasy here. There was a Final Fantasy song. But anyways, Togekiss. I mean, a Pokemon that has access to Follow Me can just never be considered bad to me. It is what it is. It's bulky. It's annoying. It can flinch you to death when it wants to. I think it's probably just around this area. Because in terms of singles, it's never been anything too crazy in my personal opinion. To be fair, it had to get Generation 6 to give it the Fairy type, so... The reason why it wasn't anything too crazy historically is because it had normal flying previously, which is sad, but it's okay. Yanmega! Yanmega is a thing that exists. You can run Speed Boost sets or Specs Tinted Lens. I have always been the type that prefers the Tinted Lens variants, but I'm not a hater of Yanmega at all. I think Yanmega deserves to be probably around that Lucario, Flygon-ish area. I kind of want to give it maybe like here. Like here. Worst the Mega Camerupt, right there. Better than Mega Glalie might be a stretch. So I'll put it below, but hey. Yanmega's cool. Versatile? Not really, but you know, it has 2 different options that it can go. Leafeon is a very one-dimensional Pokemon, is it not? Doesn't this thing just do either Swords Dance and die? Or one time, like Z Celebrate in Generation 7? I don't think Leafeon's ever been an impressive Pokemon. I don't think it's ever been like hot garbage, but I'd probably put it above you. Above Rampardos, maybe. I have hiccups. Oh, duh. That's not good. That's not good. That means I need to get some water. Glaceon. Glaceon's probably better than its grass counterpart. I don't know if it's crazy, but it's probably just a tad bit better. I'd go like here. Let's put a little bit of a gap between the two. All right, before we get to Gliscor, let me grab some water. Okay. Let me get some water real quick, because hiccups are here, so oh, that's not good. Even though I haven't hiccuped since I pointed it out. Maybe they just ran away. We'll see. Well, let me get some water. All right, Gliscor. Gliscor, whichever one you say. Glide makes way more sense because it's literally like a gliding scorpion, but you know, I like to use it sometimes. I think that Gliscor is going to be high up here. Maybe around B plus-ish? I feel like if Mega Garchomp is here, I'm gonna drop Mega Garchomp. I think the thing with Gliscor, sorry, whatever. It's been like it's OU all the time, right? And it's certainly really, really good. It's just like I could put it higher. It's definitely better than this guy. I actually think Galarian Zapdos I have too high. That's something I should say. I'll put him like here. Better than Jirachi all time. I wouldn't be mad at better than Jirachi all time. I think when you really get down to it, Gliscor is one of the most consistent Pokemon ever. Like, ever since it got access to Poison Heal and stuff like that and Toxic Orb. Even before that, it was good. You know what? I'll bring him here. You can join the A- crew. Like above Ditto. Right there. Join the A- crew. Mamoswine. Not gonna be Gliscor level, unfortunately for it, but it is certainly a Pokemon that is usable. I would probably take Mamoswine and go... like Staraptor level. I'd probably go Staraptor level. Maybe a tad lower. Yeah, higher. The thing about Mamoswine is that it always has done basically the exact same thing all the time. He clicks the Icicle Crash, he clicks the Earthquake. He runs either Choice Band or Life Orb, and he might run a Scarf here and there. He sometimes does Hazard Lead. So he's certainly versatile in a sense, but he's done those same few versatile things for such a long time, and he's never really been the GOAT. He's tried and tried and tried. He needs some sort of like regional form. Regional form Mamoswine, could you imagine that? Oh my god. Regional form Mamoswine, but they do something crazy to the tusks, and it becomes like faster. To me, Mamoswine's problem has always been its 80 speed. I've always hated the fact that it's 80 speed. I think if you literally give it plus 20, like if you subtracted 20 HP and put that 20 into speed, this guy would be probably an entire tier up. But yeah, I mean, he's just been UU forever. So it is what it is. Better than Staraptor, though. Let's see, who's next? PZ. Porygon Z. I mean, I'm not big on Porygon Z. I'm not gonna lie. I'm really not. I'm actually a bit of a Porygon Z hater. I think this thing is fine. I just don't think it's goated. I don't think, like, if I'm gonna place it, it's gonna be lower than Porygon 2. That's just a given. I'm gonna put it like here. Maybe like Azu level. It's very volatile. Like sometimes, and by sometimes, I mean like exclusively in Generation 7 with Z conversion. I feel like that's the only time that I could see you just losing to this thing. But overall, I feel like B- is very much its rank. Sometimes you can just lose to it in Battle Spot or something like that. Or Battle Stadium Singles. If you bring Mono Lose to a normal type move, they could just bring it and click Hyper Beam, and then you're down a Pokemon. And it gets a 1-for-1 trade. I think B- is fair. Honestly, it might be lower than Swampert and Raikou. But yeah, lower than Swampert and Raikou. But I think B- is where it kind of peaks at. I think it's not that great. Gallade. Base Gallade is a weird one. I really don't think Base Gallade is anything crazy. I don't think it's ever been anything crazy, and I just don't think it ever will be anything crazy. Even though it got sharpness in this generation, which is very cool. I really like that they focused on its like thematic stuff and just gave it a nice cool ability. I still think overall I can't put it higher than maybe like Jolteon level. Yeah. No, I'm going to put it lower than Jolteon and lower than Toxicroak. Right here. I think this is fair. It's never really had much of a moment like I would say Gallade and Toxicroak. Not Gallade. Jolteon and Toxicroak had. Like, you know, Jolteon had Gen 3. Toxicroak had Gen 5, where it's a decent-ish something that you could use on Rain. Venomoth is just way more consistent in being that RU UU type of Pokemon, and then Gallade's really mostly been more of a lower tier merchant. A lot of people think it's a lot better than it actually is. Mega Gallade. Mega Gallade is cool. I'm a fan of Mega Gallade in the 2 generations or that you could use it in. I think you can currently use it in Champions. I haven't fought it a single time. I've fought crazier Megas than this thing. Like things that I don't think I was gonna fight. I fought Mega Victory Bell. I fought Mega Skullvillain. I haven't encountered a single Mega Gallade in Champions in my entire life. But it is good in the 2 generations that it exists in. I would say it's worse in Gen 7 than it is in Gen 6. You looked at my team builder earlier. You did see a Gallade team in there, so I do respect it. And I won a tournament game with Mega Gallade, so. In Gen 6. I think it's better. I'd probably put it like here. I like it more than Mega Pinsir. I think Mega Gallade in Generation 6 is better than Mega Pinsir was in Generation 6 or Generation 7. But neither of them are impressive. With B tier is just okay. You know, B tier is just okay. Probopass. I don't think Probopass is good. I'm going to put Probopass like above Bastiodon, but maybe like lower than these guys, lower than you, better than Glaceon, I'm not sure. Yeah, better than Glaceon. Probopass, Big Nose XQC here is just, you know, he has Magnet Pulse, so he's automatically something that could technically be useful. He's good in ZU, PU. He's a ZU, PU, NU merchant, pretty much. I don't even know about NU. Maybe a little bit of NU. But that's pretty much what the E tier is just going to consist of, you know? That is just what it's going to consist of. Dusknoir is another one that's going to be entering that range of existing within these weird lower tiers. It can technically hit hard. It really just doesn't. Okay, it does, but its problem is coverage, unfortunately. It has the unfortunate reality of technically having a lot of coverage in terms of like, whoa, it can do Fire Punch. It has Earthquake. It doesn't have like Drain Punch too. I don't think it has Drain Punch. But it has Fire Punch. It has Earthquake. It has Ice Punch. It has all these different moves, and it's like, well, cool. They don't really contribute much to what Ghost wants, unfortunately, as an offensive typing. So I feel like I just kind of have to put it around where the rest of these PU Pokemon are. I don't think I can put it above Roselia or Poliwrath or Muck or U, but maybe above Perugly is fine, just right there in E tier. Mega Gallade over Base Gallade. How does that not make any sense? I'm so confused. How does that make any... In Generation 6 and 7, Base Gallade was not even real. Base Gallade is not even a real Pokemon in Generation 6 and 7. The most this thing has ever had going for it is being used in like Gen 9 VGC. And that's about it. Base Gallade. But you know, Base Gallade is not pure garbage. I'm just not really impressed by it. Base Gallade has sharpness. And it's a sharp Pokemon in RU currently. Like, it's just, yeah, it's okay, but it's not good in current generation OU. Whereas Mega Gallade, when you use it, I would not use it in Generation 7, but Generation 6, it's legitimately a Pokemon. You got to think about it. It has sharpness now, and sharpness, Sacred Sword, is like the power of close combat relatively. It's like a little stronger. It's just not enough to push it. The Gallade is just the RU Merchant. And he can have a little bit of a doubles presence, right? You could use him as a Trick Room Pokemon. That's about it. That's about it. Neither of them are relevant in Champions. So it is what it is. But base Gallade is not good. Frostlass is not good either. But is definitely worse than base Gallade. I think Frostlass probably goes around here, like C-. I think a Frostlass that you could technically always use it as a hazard lead in any given moment. So I'd actually put it above Mega Bayonet. You can use it as a hazard lead in things like Ubers and stuff like that. Higher tiers, any higher tier, you could technically use Frostlass to get up the hazards, and then it'll just, you know, die. But it's a natural spin blocker, which is a good trait to have. I might put it like here. Maybe above Mischievous, or above Tauros, or above you. It's fine. It does the same thing all the time. In the lower tiers, you use it more as like a wall breaker and stuff like that. Mega Frostlass is good. I think it'll find its place in like B tier. Better than like Mega Garchomp. Maybe bottom of B+. Like around this range. It's fine. It's good. It hits hard. It's not a bad Pokemon at all. I would not rank it low. Who is next? Who is next? Rotom. Oh, we have all the Rotom forms. Okay. Ghost Rotom, well, just like base Rotom, is not great. He's same thing as always. PU-ZU, NU Merchant. So he's gonna go with his PU-ZU, NU friends. I'm gonna put him like right next to Mismagius. Rotom Fan. He's a fan. He's a fan. He's a fan. I think pretty similar. Maybe like a little worse, but very similar. Rotom Frost. Rotom Frost has had a little bit of a weird amount of usage in Champions. It's not like very used at all, but I'd put it like right here. Rotom Heat. I put Rotom Heat above like Infernape, maybe. He's solid. He works. Gets the job done. Honestly, I put him a little higher. Like more than Pidgeot. Right here. Even a little more, a little more, a little more. Right there. B-. Rotom Mow is going to be like in the middle of these guys and then Rotom Heat. So if Rotom Heat is B- and all the other Rotom forms are around this like E tier range, then Rotom Mow is probably around C+-ish to C. I think it feels more correct to have him like C tier. We'll do top of C. Rotom Wash. Obviously the best of the Rotom forms. I would probably put Rotom Wash. Rotom Wash is probably an A- Pokemon. Or at B+, one of the two. I think in terms of having, you know, doubles impact and stuff like that, Rotom Wash is going to be the one that you go to outside of, or when it comes to all of the Rotom forms. I feel like this is a fine placement. Lil Uxie Vert Little Uxie is just never anything special at any point in time. It just is okay. But I'll put it like better than Arcanine, maybe better than worse than Steelix. But like, all right, better than Steelix, better than Steelix. I think there's gonna be a gap between Honchkrow and Uxie for what it's worth, but it's fine. I think the thing is with the Mesprit is that Mesprit is one of those Pokemon where I always have felt like it could technically be so good, but that 80 speed is just so bad. It's almost hard to decide which one is worse between the two. I think Mesprit has typically been like relative to Uxie in strength. So I'm just gonna find wherever I put Uxie, I'll probably put Mesprit just like I don't know, a tad lower, like right here. They're very, very similar, even though they're pretty different Pokemon. It's just, I think Uxie has always had the edge, you know? Maybe like a little lower than Arcanine. And then Azelf is better than all three of them. It's had its time where it was really, really, really good. I think overall it's kind of balanced out to be more of a B tier Pokemon. Azelf hasn't seen, you know, impressive performances in a very long time. Now he's just more of a UU guy. He's a chill guy. But back then, DPP Azelf is quite a demon, right? I mean, I feel like I want to put it just a tad bit higher because of that. Like, that is legitimately a very... Generation 4 Azelf is such a different Pokemon compared to the rest of its existence. I'll put it right here. I'll put it right here. I don't even think I could do that. I'm not gonna lie. It's fine. I think it's fine. Other thing is, I'll go here. Better than Slowbro. Outside of that, that thing's been like UU forever. So it's gonna be near the UU forever Pokemon. Dialga! This is an interesting one. This thing's gonna definitely be high up there. It's easily gonna be high up there. We're gonna go ahead and drop it. I think this is a double S. This is a double S Pokemon. Like right here. When you think about Dialga, you really, really have to think about how absolutely demonic this thing is in DPP Ubers. Also spectacular in Gen 5 Ubers. Current day, I think it's worse and worse. Like Necrozma Duskmane basically annoyed it a lot. And it kicked it off its role of ever doing some sort of bulky Stealth Rock stuff. Now this thing's just going to be Choice Spexing and maybe Choice Scarfing and just trying to wall break. I think that its older generation performances are insane though. When it comes to Dialga Origin, I think Dialga Origin is fine. I'm going to put it S tier. I'm not going to put it double S though. I think it's probably worse than like these guys. Dialga Origin probably just goes there. It works. It's not the most offensive thing that I'm ever going to see in my life. Palkia. Palkia is definitely cool. You know? It has... unlike Dialga, so like Dialga's life got kind of ruined by Necrozma Duskmane. Palkia's life got ruined by Primal Kyogre. I would say Primal Kyogre really, really, really annoyed it for 2 generations. And then when it comes to Generation 8, you know, I'll put it above here. They'll be right next to each other. Generation 8, it's cool. Generation 7, I truly just don't see much of it. Kind of makes me want to go Deoxys Speed above. I don't know if there's a gap between these two, though. Maybe Deoxys Speed just is above the two of them. I think this is fair. I think this is fair. Dialga to me has just been better between like Gen 4, Gen 5. Palkia Origin, on the other hand, I think it's going to be the same sort of case as Dialga Origin, but maybe, I don't know, maybe you could swap them. Maybe you can swap them and they'll just be better. Maybe like that. They're chill. S tier. Heatran! Heatran is very good. Heatran is definitely very, very good. I think Heatran has always been like an A+. Maybe I could say S. I don't think S is crazy. I don't think S is crazy at all. I'd go maybe like where Tyranitar is. This thing is an all-time classic Pokemon. He's always here. He's always goated. He's him. Heatran is him. Mega Heatran I can't rank because he's not in the game yet. Regigigas is not bottom of the barrel, surprisingly. I think Regigigas is probably like the top of F tier. I feel like that's more accurate for it. It might be something you can quickly look at and be like, yep, that's just got to be bottom of the barrel. But it's just, it's better than some of these other things, you know? I'd probably go middle of, I wanted to put it at the top so it kind of stand out, but maybe top of G tier is better. Top of G tier. I want it to be at the top. If you're not better than Regigigas, then you'll just be below it. In G tier. He's the guardian. He's the guardian of being dog garbage, basically. Giratina is extremely, extremely good. I would say double S is a lock. Would I say Giratina is this level? Maybe? I think it just joins the other three. It joins the other two, I mean. It makes a nice little trio. Giratina and Giratina Origin, who I'll rank right now as well. Giratina Origin probably go above like Deoxys Speed. I think this is valid. Giratina Origin, extremely, extremely good. I might even put it above Ray, honestly. This thing is one of the hardest hitting Pokemon ever. Ghost Dragon, really good offensive typings. You know, you hit hard with that stupid orb as well. Draco Meteor is going to hit like a truck. You have Outrage. You have Poltergeist in current gen. And it has decent coverage options if it wants to run coverage. But nowadays, you're not going to run coverage. In Generation 9, you're not really running coverage, bro. You're just going to run your Poltergeist. Or you're going to run your Draco Meteor. You're going to have your Hex. You're just going to be using the Ghost and Dragon moves. But it's always a timeless GOAT Pokemon. Cresselia. Cresselia should be really high up because of its doubles presence, 100%. I think just going based off of doubles, you really have to put it... It might be like the Clefable of doubles. Is that a crazy take? Is that a crazy take? I think Cresselia might be the Clefable of doubles. You know, like Clefables that go to Smogon singles? I think Cresselia might just be what Clefable is. Smogon, like Smogon OU, but for the doubles formats. I put it above a good bit of these guys, actually. Like right here. Cresselia might even be A+. You know, like the more I talk myself into it, what are we rating? We're doing, this is mix of Smogon singles, Battle Spot, Battle Stadium, and VGC, and all time. So every generation of their impact. So Cresselia, Gen 5, Gen 6, Gen 7, like, you know. I think Cresselia, the more and more I think about Cresselia, like I gotta raise it even higher. I think it might just be an A+ Pokemon. When it comes to singles performance, it's like middle of the pack. If I was just doing Smogon singles, it'd probably be around C+ to C range. But when it comes to its doubles impact, this thing is definitely just the Clefable. You know? It's really, really good. Really, really good. Phione. So now we've gone from really, really good to just not, you know? Just not. But I'm not going to put it too low. I think it could probably go... Is it better than Regigigas? Probably. Probably better than Regigigas. Better than Lunatone? Maybe not. I'd put it like below Lunatone. I'm sure there's some generation where it could like pivot around and do stuff, you know? Better than Dugong. How about that? Better than Dugong. We'll go here. Better than Pikachu. Manaphy. Ooh, Manaphy. So I just destroyed Phione's ranking. Manaphy is probably... I want to say B+. You know? I could even go higher, but I feel like I could go higher. Doubles, I wouldn't say is the like super strong suit, but you have to keep in mind that this thing is nuked from Gen 4 OU, nuked from Gen 5 OU. They're trying to nuke it right now from Gen 7 OU. If you're not aware, it's getting suspect tested in Gen 7 OU right now. So if you're not aware about that, hey, maybe participate in the suspect test. If you don't want it to get banned, or if you do want it to get banned, if you're tired of fighting Rain over and over again and just getting obliterated by Manaphy, maybe do something about it. I think it's probably just about here. Maybe not a tier separator, but I think it's a tier separator between it and Jirachi. That could just mean maybe Jirachi goes up, but I feel like Jirachi has always been sort of... In the modern generations, like Gen 6 onwards, I think Jirachi has always been worse. Yeah. Who is next? Darkrai. Ooh, Darkrai. I think Darkrai is probably a S tier guy. I think Darkrai's got to be up there. Darkrai's always been super banned. The only time he's not been banned has been this generation. So he's got his time in the spotlight. Would I say he's better than Garchomp all time? Yeah, you kind of have to say that. I think he's, if I'm even rivaling, or even if I'm considering other things like Gen 4 Darkrai. Oh my god, Gen 4 Darkrai is evil. Gen 5 Darkrai is pretty evil too. Yeah, I feel like I have to rank it. Gen 6 Darkrai too. Yeah, I gotta rank it higher. Bro. I put it really low. Darkrai has one, like, bald spot on its entire record, and it's just Gen 9. Gen 9 is its only problem. But this thing was on a disgusting run. I really think that they got it in Gen 7. When they nerfed Dark Void into the Void, that was what kind of killed it. But it had a nasty run. I'm going to put a double S. When I'm considering full-on Legacy Darkrai, it's got to be double S. Like, right here. The problem... that's hard. It's hard. It's really hard. Gen 9 is just such a... The nerf to Dark Void, it getting nerfed, it's gonna gatekeep S. You know what? It's gonna gatekeep S. Mega Darkrai. No, this does not exist yet. Shaymin. There's no Shaymin being mid, and that's what Shaymin's philosophy is, okay? Shaymin exists. Shaymin does things. It's chill. To UU Merchant. Gets the job done. It's not the most offensive thing that I've ever laid eyes on. I'd probably put it above Rhyperior. Like right there. He's chill. Shaymin's chill. Shaymin Sky is the exact opposite. This thing's not chill. This thing's pure evil. Yeah. This thing's definitely evil. I would put Shaymin Sky probably like below Deoxys. Shaymin Sky is one of those Pokemon where it's never something that I look at and I'm like, I want to bring that in, you know, like more modern Ubers. But it's never something that I look at and I'm happy to see it, you know? I'd probably put it like right here. Because, you know, base Deoxys is not like fully a thing. I'd probably go right there. Shaymin Sky is definitely like a whole other, you know, deal compared to Deoxys. I'm thinking about doubles too. Is this thing a thing in doubles? Was there a time? This is more like Smogon doubles OU though, right? Which I am still considering. You know what? Go up here. Go up there. Get out of my face, Shaymin Sky. And lastly, for Generation 4, this just needs no introduction. I'm surprised this doesn't have each Arceus form. It's actually a little unfortunate that it doesn't. But for the simple fact that it does not have every Arceus form and it's just Arceus in one. If it's, I mean, hey. Arceus is the best Pokemon of all time. It just is. It just is. If this is considering every form put together, which is very unfair, I wish this list had them all separate. You could say, Tim, you could just add the images yourself. No, I'm not doing that. I'm not adding 18 different type images right now. I'm not doing that. But since this is meshing all of Arceus together, this is the best Pokemon ever. I believe this Pokemon got banned from Ubers before Mega Rayquaza got banned from Ubers in Gen 6. Didn't this thing get banned from Ubers in Diamond and Pearl before? It's just they never made the AG tier for it. Unlike, they just never played with Arceus ever again. They just banished him and left him alone. But then they made AG because I guess people thought Mega Rayquaza had Aura, so they still went to use it. So yeah. I'm going to put it Triple S. This is definitely the best. This is the best Pokemon of all time. I'm trying to think of anything that could come close to, if you're considering every single let me get that straight. Every single Arceus ever mixed into one Pokemon, it's the top. It's the top. I'm sorry. There's really great Pokemon that are to come. There's, Miraidon, Koraidon, Calyrex, Shadow, Xerneas. There's a lot of great stuff. Yveltal, that still has to be mentioned. This is just the greatest. Every Arceus, again, I just want that to be known. Every Arceus is being considered in this one spot. So you have to deal with normal Arceus. You have to deal with Arceus Ground. You have to deal with Arceus Dark, Arceus Water, Arceus Fairy, Arceus Dragon. Once you get to Arceus Flying, around that area is when, okay, now it's a bit of a stretch. Arceus Poison, I think, is about the last one. Arceus Ghost, too. Arceus Rock. And this is just in modern generations. I'm sure even in the older generations, different Arceus horns were demonic too. But I know that this thing is just, and base Arceus. I didn't even mention E-Killer Arceus. Yeah, it's the best Pokemon of all time. I think I like this. I think I like this. You know what I also like? I think I'm going to call it here. And we will pace ourselves. Instead of doing that ridiculous 8-hour stream, we'll just do a stream each time, adding each generation. I won't end the stream until I finish ranking the entire generation. We did Sinnoh this time. Definitely power. This is power creep. Sinnoh has way better Pokemon than Generation 3, 2, and 1. This is definitely power creep. So, next stream, will Generation 5 power creep Gen 4? Find out. I will catch you all next time. I'll see you. Also, my food is at the door, so let me go get it.